Now to a controversial science that continues to spark heated debate around the world. Kenya's Deputy President William Ruto now says the country will lift the ban on genetically modified crops in the next 2 months. The move that is likely to alarm opponents of this technology follows a 3-year ban occasioned by suggestions that these foods could cause cancer. KTN's Joe Ageo has reported widely on this subject and now puts the announcement in context for you.
Throughout the world, it remains a controversial technology with frequent protests at the mention of genetically modified organisms or GMOs. And here in Kenya, these products have been banned since 2012 following an equally contentious study in France that linked such foods to cancer. Now several experts are gathering in Nairobi to discuss that very subject, biotechnology, the science behind the seeds of discord. And the Deputy President says Kenya won't be left behind.
In a matter of a month or two, we should be able to be out of the bath. And I want to allay any fear from any quarter that there will be any attempt to roll back what has already been achieved.
The technology that took root in the US in 1996 is now widely used around the world, with the US having nearly 90% of its maize produced through some form of genetic modification. In the European Union, GMOs can only be imported into member countries if they have an EU-wide stamp of approval. The Commission grants those permits based on a scientific assessment by the European Food Safety Authority and a vote by member states. In Uganda, the debate is raging, with that country now in the final stages of fully legalizing the crops. But farmers such as Joseph Magezi remain to be convinced.
Uganda doesn't need GMOs because I've got its own varieties of seeds. And at the same time, Uganda have got ownership on their varieties. So we don't want GMOs to overtake the products and our seeds ownership.
And Kenya's regulator too, the National Biosafety Authority, remains cautious.
The information shared during this conference will also help NBA to address many issues on biosafety in the future. However, we still continue to encourage the public to share their concerns so that we work together as a nation to define the way forward for biotechnology in Kenya.
So long as the necessary safeguards are put in place under the law that was passed, and as long as we have all the regulations in place, Kenya is going to be safe to engage in biotechnology on all areas. And shortly, that agreement will be before Cabinet, and I am confident that the necessary decisions will be made.
It's yet unclear what process will be followed before the Kenyan ban is lifted, but it appears that debate is now well and truly back. Jogeo, KTN News.